Ooh, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As promised, Constructicon BONECRUSHER today. Now, as I said in my previous video, this is the Constructicon I was most looking forward to because he is my favorite one. Having said that, I cannot deny he's got some flaws. Now, what I consider for flaws on him, and what other people consider as flaws on him, are pretty different. Because I'll be honest, I have weird standards. Adjust this just a little bit. Okay, so now, in case you were wondering, he is in fact green. He is very green. Also, ignore my lighting here. I know he actually looks worse on camera. The green is a little bit darker, just my light setup. This is literally my ceiling fan light. So it kind of washes him out a little bit on camera. He's a little bit darker than he appears. So as far as his bulldozer mode looks, I do adore this bulldozer mode. Now, a lot of people have been complaining, where's all of the paint apps? Well, I don't see a big deal there because, quite honestly, this is basically what BONECRUSHER always looks like. He is very green with a little bit of purple. He's not an overly detailed character to begin with. I'll explain a little bit more as we go. A lot of people, well, the Combiner Wars one had more paint apps than this. I never thought it was really necessary, especially considering we're going for animation accurate over like real world accuracy. So, I mean, in the cartoon, he was just green with a tiny bit of purple. So, I'm good with this. So, unlike Scrapper, he has no wheels. So, you know, he slide. So, okay. He's really basic in this mode. There's really not a lot to talk about. I mean, you can see the molded in details are really good. The only articulation he has is he kind of lifts his bucket. Now, I wish they would have changed this. So I'll show you this. His bucket is on this double armature. This is for transformation. I wish that when they had designed this, they had designed it so maybe instead of having this piece, they just had this bracket and it connected up here. Because then you would have, I mean, if it did work like that, you would have a little bit more of a natural bulldozer bucket. Now, bulldozers are not known for their articulation. I mean, essentially stuff like this. I don't know how many people watching this are familiar with actual bulldozers, but the buckets on these usually have like that much articulation. Like it's like and that's it. They're not known for doing all kinds of weird stuff. So it makes complete sense. These are more for like plowing than they are for like, you know, picking stuff up and transporting it. So, is he perfect? No. Is he flawed? Yes. Do I still love him? Absolutely. I do believe mine has a QC issue because these back here, they don't want to stay pegged in. I don't know if that's a widespread issue. I know it's an issue on mine. So he was sold as a deluxe. I believe he's the only one being sold as a deluxe unless Scavenger gets sold because Mixmaster was just revealed and he is being sold as a Voyager. I think Scavenger is being sold as a Voyager too, but I'm not 100% sure. To my knowledge, he's the only one being sold as a deluxe, which is kind of cool because, you know what, you get him cheaper. But yeah, all he comes with, unlike Scrapper, he doesn't come with all kinds of extra stuff. He just comes with his little blaster, which, you know, ta-da. I have seen some complaints, and I don't fully disagree, but I'm okay with it, is he does not have his big drill. BONECRUSHER is supposed to have like a big drill that you can sit on top of him. So, is that a downside? Definitely a downside. It would have been nice to have that, but it's not a necessary piece of equipment for him. So, I'm talking about this part of him way longer than I need to, unfortunately. So, okay, I'm going to go into combine mode like we did with Scrapper. Speaking of which, here we go for Scrapper. And as you can see, you know, they're different vehicles, but they're very similar sizes. Like I said, him being sold as a Voyager was primarily because he comes with the Devastator gun. And articulation engineering, not overly different. So, let's go into combine mode, which is essentially just going to come back here. Going to unpeg the treads from the sides. I see they both peg in right there. Going to fold this part down. So this section right here, you can see there's a seam right here. This section comes packaged separately. It's not, this is not packaged all together. And you can technically, because this is held on with a mushroom peg right here, you can't take this whole bit off because this just becomes a backpack in robot mode. So you do that, come back here, and then if you look on this leg right here, this tread, you have this fold out panel right here. Going to peg these back in, and then fold this part right here and peg in like that. So it'll connect onto Devastator through here, and then you peg these together, and this actually holds the treads together. So you'll have the arm like that, and you know it's going to have good shoulder articulation, good arm articulation. But yeah, here is arm mode. You can, just like with Scrapper, you can leave the gun on and just have him holding, you know, random guns all over him. Actually, I wonder if... there we go. Shoulder blaster. There we go. So, there we are. And again, that's pretty much it for his combined mode. There's not really much to say about it other than I think it's going to be solid and it's going to look good. So, continuing on to robot mode. Going to pop these back. And just like that. So once you get to this point, you want to extend the bucket out. And you want to rock this piece up. You're going to want to move the combiner arm back. And unpeg from here, like this. And then split this section. And fold the arms up like this. Then you're going to want to rock this forward, pull the legs up like this, and then rock this section back down on this joint. This, you can see the little dual tab right there is going to go right through here. And we have that just like that. Now, again, you can take this off at the mushroom peg, or you can just leave it flush on the back. And then come over here. You want to flip the canopy back here. I completely forgot. You want to, before you peg all that in, you want to flip up his noggin. And then come to his arms. You want to unpeg, you know, tab slot right here. Rotate the elbow. Rotate arm down. Do the same on this side. Okay, and then you want to fold all this up. This tab will go into his chest right here. Or into his belly, rather. And then this will sit here. So, unfortunately, this does not sit very flush right here. I mean, there's a little bit of gappage, but it still looks good enough. And you want to flip the feet open like so. And he does actually have knees. So, if you want, you can actually, you know, unclip the knees there. And there we are. Now, here's the deal. He is my favorite Constructicon. I can clearly see there are some flaws. The arms are a bit too stumpy. You know, he makes me think of Eric Cartman. I don't know why. I'm not the only one seeing it, I hope. Especially if you sit him like this. Screw you guys, I'm going home. That's all I can think of. Yeah, I got nothing. Just he makes me think of Eric Cartman. You can, of course, give him his pew pew. And, you know, and here's the thing. His articulation is great, you know, ball jointed shoulders, ball jointed elbows. Head is on a swivel. He's got forward and back movement. Hips are good, you know, ball jointed hips. Good knees. He has ankle articulation. He's got all kinds of stuff. So, sorry about that. I just had a message come through on my phone. But yeah, I mean, my only issues is I think if they had given him the Voyager price point like they did with all the others, maybe a couple of these little nitpicks for me would have been resolved. I still like him. You know, a lot of people have been modding this bit right here where they've been taking, I think it's this pin out. So, you know, this will peg into his chest, and then all of a sudden you have a waist joint. So, yeah, he's not perfect. I still like him, and I still recommend that you get him, even if you're not going for the full Devastator build. I still think he's worth getting. If nothing else, you know, everybody needs a Cartman transformer. Bring in Scrapper here again so you can see what we're looking at. You know, they're about the same height. You know, they're, like I said, you know, they're scale-wise, all of them are going to look about this scale. So, yeah, I wish I was as happy on him as I was on him. But I still recommend both. I still recommend... Ignore the pup in the background. I recommend both, and so far I'm still definitely recommending Devastator. I'll see how I feel once I get Long Haul and Hook. They might shift my opinion one way or the other. And Mixmaster, like, holy crap, Mixmaster looks cool. Weirdly, Mixmaster is the tallest one so far. So I'm very optimistic about this definitely being the best Devastator Hasbro has ever put out. So, yeah, well, you know, we'll call that good. So, yeah. Okay, so I don't know who I'm doing next. Might go into the primes. I don't know. So, that was Studio Series 86 BONECRUSHER. And I will see you guys in the next video.